Something I need to share with you all as we draw towards the end of the service. About 10 months ago, Kate and I started having a conversation about our future and what God might have planned for us. We began to ask the question about whether God would want us to be in Slough for the next season of our lives, or whether he might be moving us on. We began to pray and to ask God to guide us, and by September, God had spoken to us in a number of ways. And we reached a point where we felt it would be disobedient if we didn't ask God the question further and begin exploring whether he might be calling us to move on. This did not at all come from any sense of being unhappy here. In fact, we entered into that process for a year, and we're often hoping at the start and throughout that nothing would come of it, that God would use this to guide us, to assure us that we were in the right place and we were called to remain here for the next season, for the coming years. However, God has led us in a different way. Last Sunday, I was preaching with a view to be the pastor of Ashley Baptist Church in New Milton. This week, their membership met and voted to call me as their pastor, and I have accepted. It's been a privilege to serve the church here for many years, but that time will now be coming to an end. We'll be here for the next few months until the end of August, when we hope to move. I recognise that this will come as a shock and a disappointment to some. I appreciate that this time has been a difficult time, and it is hard to face another change and continuing uncertainty. Kate and I are confident of God's call for us, and therefore his plan for the church here as well. I remember well when Jem left, and I was struggling with that, and those who were here and who knew me at the time will remember that. I remember Jem assured me that if this was God's plan for him, then he would have a plan for me and a plan for the church here as well. That it would not have come as a surprise to God that there was a gap left here by calling Jem elsewhere. All these years later, I can see how in the life of the church here, God's plans have worked out in so many ways. And I trust that he'll continue to do the same and continue to build his church. Would you believe it that Kate and I have been at Slough Baptist Church for nearly 13 years? And whilst we look forward to what God has for us, we are deeply sad to be leaving the church here, which is, of course, not about a building or a place, but about you lot, the people. It's you who we will deeply miss. I understand that people may want to talk and to chat, and so after chatting with people here in the building, Kate and I will be on Zoom, which will be running as ever after the service, and we'll be happy to chat with as many people as want to come on, and we'll be pleased to do that. The details, as ever, for how to join Zoom, if you want to come on and you're not normally there, you'd be really welcome. The link's in the description below. And the password might even appear on the screen, which is Matthew 5 with a capital M. Ironically, we just sang Send Me Out From Here, Lord, which wasn't planned by Jane knowing that this announcement was coming. But I'd like to finish with something that is planned, which is a final blessing, which is one of my favourites, and encourages us to face the future, looking to Jesus and trusting that he will lead us on. So after that, we'll then there'll be a final bit of music as we close the service. So now's the time for those words, and there's a simple response just to say together, of Jesus now lead on, the words in bold. from where we are to where you need us. Jesus, now lead on. From the security of what we know to the adventure of what you will reveal. Jesus, now lead on. To refashion the fabric of the world until it resembles the shape of your kingdom. Jesus, now lead on. Because good things have been prepared for those who love God. Jesus, now lead on. Amen.